Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right, folks. Get ready because what I'm about to tell you could shake up the entire NFC West and possibly the entire NFC playoff picture. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could see the Seattle Seahawks making a bold move in the upcoming offseason. And no, it's not just idle chatter. There's real substance behind these whispers. The buzz is that the Philadelphia Eagles, currently sitting at 7-4 but facing some salary cap constraints, are considering trading Saquon Barkley to the Seahawks. And let me tell you, if this happens, it could be one of the most impactful moves we've seen in recent Seahawks history. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would the Eagles trade Barkley? Well, Philly's cap situation isn't exactly perfect right now. They're sitting on about $10 million in cap space, which is tight, especially with the need to extend Jalen Hurts and shore up their offensive line. The Eagles are also rumored to be focusing on rebuilding their secondary, particularly at the cornerback position and in the secondary. So, freeing up some salary space by trading Barkley makes some sense from a salary cap perspective. But the real question is, what would the Seahawks have to give up, and what would we be getting in return? Sources suggest that the Seahawks could potentially send a second-round pick and a fourth-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft to the Eagles in exchange for Barkley. If this trade were to happen, it would be a game-changer for Seattle. Not only would we be adding a dynamic, explosive running back to complement Kenneth Walker but we'd also be significantly bolstering our ground game. Remember, Seattle is currently sitting at an impressive 8-3 record, and adding a player like Barkley could take us to the next level. Especially considering the recent injury to Helani, who was providing some depth in our backfield. Bringing in Barkley would diversify our rushing attack and give defenses fits. Think about it. Barkley, the burst king, is a guy who can explode through gaps with lightning-fast acceleration. He's a playmaker who can change the game with a single run, and his ability to break tackles and create yards after contact is unmatched. Over his career, Barkley has proven to be a versatile back, capable of handling a heavy workload and making big plays both on the ground and in the passing game. Since entering the league in 2018, he's accumulated over 900 rushing yards on nearly 731 carries, averaging around 4.6 yards per carry. He's also caught 356 passes for nearly 637 yards, adding another dimension to his game. His career total of 68 touchdowns makes him a true red zone threat, and his PFF grade of 86.5 reflects his consistency and ability to perform at a high level. In the 2025 season alone, Barkley played 11 games, rushing 185 times for 684 yards, which averages out to about 3.7 yards per carry. He scored 4 rushing touchdowns and added 35 receptions for 259 yards, averaging around 7.4 yards per catch, with 2 receiving touchdowns. His PFF grade for that season was 83.4, and he was instrumental in helping the Eagles control the clock, boosting their time of possession and keeping their offense on the field longer. Barkley's ability to burst through gaps and pick up tough yards would be a perfect fit for the Seahawks' offensive scheme, especially with Geno Smith at quarterback. Now, let's talk about the potential impact on the Seahawks. Adding Barkley alongside Walker could give Seattle a true running duo that defenses would struggle to contain. We're talking about a combined rushing threat that could easily surpass 500 yards in total, with Barkley's explosiveness complementing Walker's power. This tandem would be a nightmare for defenses and could be instrumental in our playoff push. Plus, Barkley's ability to generate big plays. His EPA, expected points added per run, is around 0.18, which is elite. Means we'd be getting more chunk plays on the ground, helping us move the chains and control the game clock. Think about the kind of mismatches we could create. With Barkley's quickness and vision, he could thrive behind our offensive line, which has been steadily improving. His presence would also take pressure off Geno, making it easier for him to find open receivers downfield because defenses would have to respect the run so much more. And let's not forget the red zone. Barkley's knack for finding the end zone could be a huge boost for our scoring efficiency. His ability to create yards after contact, with over 450 broken tackles in his career, means that even in tight spots, he can make something out of nothing. That kind of playmaking ability is exactly what Seattle needs to push us over the edge in close games. So, why would the Eagles consider letting Barkley go? Well, besides the cap constraints, they might be concerned about losing their identity as a ground-oriented team. Since acquiring Barkley, they've seen a dip in their ground game effectiveness, going from about 4.5 yards per carry down to 3.5 this season. That's a significant drop, and the Eagles seem to be looking at ways to rebuild their defense and secondary, which are areas they're actively targeting in the draft and free agency. The Eagles are also eyeing a rebuild at the cornerback position and at linebacker, so trading Barkley could be part of a broader strategy to reset their roster and salary structure. For Seahawks fans, this move would be a clear statement that the team is serious about competing at the highest level. Adding Barkley would not just be about bolstering our run game. It's about creating a balanced attack that keeps defenses guessing. With Walker and Barkley sharing carries, we'd have a formidable 1-2 punch that can wear down opponents and set up the play-action game to perfection. Plus, Barkley's style of running would perfectly complement Walker's, giving us a more versatile, unpredictable offense. Looking at the bigger picture, a trade like this could also influence our chances at making a deep playoff run and even competing for a Super Bowl title. The odds would shift favorably, especially if Barkley can stay healthy and continue to produce at a high level. His past performances have shown he can be a franchise-altering player, and in a Seahawks uniform, he could be the piece that pushes us into that elite tier. The team's offense would become more dynamic, more explosive, and in the playoffs, that kind of firepower makes all the difference. Now, some fans might be skeptical. After all, trading draft picks always carries risks, and there's always the question of how well a new player will fit into the team's chemistry. But when you look at Barkley's resume and what he could bring to Seattle, it's hard to ignore the upside. Plus, the Seahawks have shown in recent years that they're not afraid to make bold moves to strengthen the roster. Whether it's trading for a star or drafting a future Pro Bowler, Seattle's front office has been aggressive, and this potential Barkley deal feels like a natural extension of that philosophy. And let's be honest, Seahawks fans, this could be one of those transformative moves that define a season. We've seen how a single player can change the narrative, like when we traded for a certain quarterback or drafted a game-changer at receiver. Barkley could be that kind of guy for our run game, providing the kind of burst and consistency that elevates the entire offense. Imagine the possibilities: play-action passes, screens, stretch runs, stretching defenses thin. The whole offense would breathe new life, and that's exactly what we need to contend deeper into the playoffs. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and it's all speculation for now. But the fact that credible sources like Schefter and others are hinting at this possibility means we should keep our eyes peeled. If the Seahawks manage to pull this off, it would send shockwaves through the league and cement our status as serious contenders. And frankly, as fans, we should be excited about the potential. It's exactly the kind of bold move that could take us to the promised land. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Seahawks have a lot to consider in the coming months. We're already sitting pretty at 8-3, but adding a player like Barkley could propel us even further. With Geno Smith leading the offense, Walker's power running, and now Barkley's explosiveness, our offense could become one of the most formidable in the league. And defensively, we're still building, but an improved offense with a more balanced attack can help keep our defense fresh and on the field longer, reducing fatigue and mistakes. The draft and free agency will be critical in shaping the rest of our season. But knowing that we might be on the verge of landing a game-changing back like Barkley, it's hard not to get excited about what's possible. The Seahawks have always been about grit, resilience, and making bold moves when it counts. This potential trade fits right into that mold, and I think it could be the move that finally puts us over the top. Imagine a Seahawks team that's not just competitive but dominant, one that can run the clock out with authority and make big plays when it matters most. And let's not forget, Barkley's presence would also send a message to the rest of the league. Seattle is here to compete, and we're willing to make bold moves to bring home that Super Bowl. Our fans have been waiting for a truly explosive, balanced offense that can strike at any moment, and Barkley could be the catalyst for that. With his burst, vision, and ability to break tackles, he can turn any run into a highlight reel play and keep defenses honest. All in all, whether this trade materializes or not, one thing is clear. Seattle is poised to make a statement. We're already contending, and with a few strategic additions, we could be on our way to another deep playoff run, maybe even another Super Bowl appearance. The excitement is building, and as fans, we should be ready to cheer loudly and support our team through every twist and turn. Because at the end of the day, this is what being a Seahawks fan is all about, believing in the impossible and dreaming of that emerald glory. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. Let's keep the passion alive and continue supporting our team through thick and thin. Go Hawks!